Drinking this album, listen to the booze. I think it would pair well, if only for you, 'cause it's album brews. It's album brews.
Hello, cowboys, and welcome back to Album Brews, the stickiest music podcast. Well, there ain't nobody in my room tonight except my cat. My name is Sarah.
After this whiskey, my pupils are going to be wider than a backhoe tire. My name is Zach.
And you might know me. I think I've met you all. You might have known me before as the feeling you get when someone doesn't complete a high five. My name is Ryan. I also go by Jenny, and I'm in background character.
Yes! Welcome, Ryan, to the show.
It's so nice to be here. This couch is comfy.
It's a good couch.
Yeah.
Ryan, I was about to sound like such a stalker. I was about to be like, we found out about you through fellow friends of the pod. Okay, cool.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, well, we've got some tweets we want to go over.
We found your high school yearbook.
Oh, no.
That would be psychotic. But background character is, if you don't know about them, a really fun fucking band here in Chicago or Essex or Omaha or wherever they say they're from.
True.
One of the most entertaining live sets I've been to. Ryan, would you tell the folks a little bit about background character?
Sure. Background character is a band that I'm in. Like the creative force so far has just been me and my friend John, who drums and sings. We do like all the songwriting, and our friend Stephanie plays bass when we do live shows. We might involve her with the writing going forward. I mean, we're working on the third album right now, and it's really fun and exciting. The only thing that motivates me really, it's like ironic that a lot of people like us for the live shows, because like the only thing that really keeps me motivated is the new music.
Oh,
But I feel really good because I'm working on it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. We're a little three-piece band. The name came from like I wanted to like I was salty. I was like, people don't really give a fuck. Like they were just background characters, but like it's also like a way to humble myself. Like I don't know, even when I'm upstairs, like up on stage in my most solipsistic state, just like really reveling in who I am and these people that have to listen to my art for half hour to an hour. I could just be like the background to someone's breakup happening back in the bathroom or by the merch table. I don't know. Keeps me humble, but also reminds me that I'm salty.
it's also from a little cartoon phrase, right? That's in one of your albums.
Yeah. There's we heard about that actually after the fact.
I was gonna ask, did that come before or after? So after,
yeah. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, we got to put that on the album. But
what cartoon is that? I can place it.
I don't know. It's
it's like regular show or something.
Yeah. Well, actually, our drummer John, his older brother Yuli found it while watching an anime.
Oh, okay.
So it's from some
it's a little anime too. Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but he sent that little clip to John, and John sent it to me. I'm like, okay, well, there's an intro.
That's fantastic.
If I come back from this alive, will you marry me?
Hold on, don't say something like that! It's a guaranteed death flag!
There's no way I'd get killed off like that. I'm the hero in your story.
Stop it! You may be the hero in my story, but out in the world, in the grand scheme of things, you're just a background character!
Per our drummer John, if you hear a sample in an album, it's usually an anime. We started out as like a weebcore band.
Nice.
I think there's one non-anime sample, and it's from American Psycho.
Perfect.
Which he also picked.
Now that I think of it, you could actually get knuckle tattoos that say weebcore.
Ooh.
Oh.
Is there something there?
I'll have to tell him. We'll send you a pic when he gets that done, inevitably.
Perfect. Amazing.
Real fast before we get into the next bit, Ryan, where can folks find background character on the internet?
All the social medias, I think. We're on all of them. Most of them, it's background character band. Instagram's where it's popping the most. I literally do not know how to use or even open TikTok.
That's fair.
Twitter's fun, though. Twitter is... I go on Twitter when I'm, like, stoned or, like, having a mental breakdown. So that's where you get, like, the real background character unfiltered. Background character band, baby.
Hell yeah, go check that out. And then what are we listening to today and sipping on?
I picked the album Purgatory by Tyler Childers. And since he's a man from Eastern Kentucky, I decided to drink Kentucky bourbon on the rocks with my wonderful hosts here.
Yay!
Cheers,
Let's get
everybody.
into that. Cheers.
Cheers.
This is going to be a clinky episode.
Evan Williams, to be specific. And also, I was going to ask if I could smoke in here to really channel the essence, but I feel like I didn't know it was going to be an apartment. So
Smoke what?
I feel like
I was gonna say cigarettes.
yeah,
and weed.
cigarettes. If I smoked weed, this podcast would not be entertaining.
We always I feel like we've been debating for 3 years now when we're gonna do a weed episode because we never have.
Yeah. I think I'd be so bad at it.
What would that be called?
Album
instead of
rebuffs.
Album reboots.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're so ready with
Thought
that.
about this.
That's the best one you could have picked, too.
Or Reblunts. Reblunts is good too.
Oh,
Reblunts.
Reblunts is good.
Yeah.
Reblunts is good. Yeah, but I think Zach and I would just both be real stupid.
Just forget
So
you're
stupid.
recording. Just
Yeah.
watch TV. Oh shit, this is on.
You know what? That could be a Patreon bonus episode exclusive.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Is we take an edible and just watch Roku City for half an hour.
Oh man.
That sounds like my kind of Friday. I don't know about you.
We're watching Roku City right now for the listeners at home.
Yeah.
You should join us.
Moneyball, right? That's the one
It's
with
being
the
advertised,
statistics.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Can I tell you
for a
guys something
while.
I found out last week?
Yes, please.
Not everyone has the same Roku City.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mine looks different from yours.
Yeah.
Mine's more purple.
I think mine's better.
Well, you're entitled to your incorrect opinion.
I'm gonna have to agree with him only because I haven't seen yours, and it would have to be really good to top this one.
This
That's
pretty
true.
good.
This
It's
one's
got-
pretty sick. Before we get into the track list, Ryan, I think Zach and I are both. This album sounds nothing like the music that you currently make. We're so curious, why this was the album that you chose and sort of what the heart is behind it.
I intentionally wanted to pick an album that sounded nothing like us.
Swag.
And because I'm actually kind of going through a not really listening to music phase right now. I've been in bands since I was 13 years old. This is literally half my life. And, I'm not burned out. I don't want to throw in the towel, but I'm just yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And so I've been when I do listen to music, especially the past couple years, I intentionally go for sounds that are things I haven't explored. And I mainly listen to rap, but I was I don't know if people want to listen to a white girl from the country talk about a rap album. so I picked a country album because I love country music too. And this one's probably my favorite, and
Yeah.
it's the one that got me into country because everybody shits on country, and to a reasonable extent, it's rightfully earned. The Nashville stadium pop shit is it's stadium pop shit.
Yeah.
Which whatever if that's what you're trying to do, but a lot of music connoisseurs like us here
Yeah.
don't really go for that often. But I was there's got to be underground country or even just good country out there. And so I don't know. I think I just found a YouTuber who mentioned a bunch of artists, and Tyler Childers. He played a couple clips of one of his songs, and his voice. I was what is that? And so I checked out this album, and I still love it. I feel I live in Chicago. The third biggest city in America. So every now, I'm just saturated with city life and city living. And every few months, I grew up in the country, and I'm every few months, I'm I need to go where I can't hear anything. And
I feel that.
and when I start to feel that, I start to crave country music at the same time because that's what my mom used to play. And this is just me finding my own. And I don't know. There's a few artists I enjoy, and Tyler was the first one. He's kind of my gateway into good kind of more underground country music, even though he's a mainstream artist. But
Well, he doesn't get a lot of radio play, which I was found interesting. Did you read that?
I don't know that, but I knew he's obviously at the height of his career now. So far, people like his voice. He has a good voice, but he just put out an album last week, and it's a triple EP.
Oh.
But it's the same 8 songs done in 3 different styles. And so I checked out one of the set of 8. I don't know. The thing is people are oh, he changed his sound. It's that's not selling out. He's doing some crazy experimental shit
Yeah, he's not.
with all of this label money.
Yeah.
And I respect it.
Yeah.
Kind of a pro strat.
And in the country movement, he put out he put out like another EP. It was like all traditional like bluegrass fiddle music, and like the proceeds of it were going towards Black Lives Matter. And a lot of his fan base tried to cancel him for that because it was a country fan base, a Red State Festival fan base. And I was like, ballsy, sick.
Yeah.
Because country is more than just like trucks and incest and blah blah blah. And there's like a lot of like, I don't know, being from the country. You know, I went to high school with like a lot of kids who would like bring their big rig trucks with Confederate flags to school. I'm like, this fucking sucks.
Yeah.
And I wrote a song called "Inbred Necks" back when I was in my punk band, and I was like mad at it.
As you
like,
should, yeah.
Yeah, then I took acid and thought about other people that aren't me, and like a lot of like redneck hating is like classist, and so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna embrace my roots rather than like run from them, and I just got into country, and Tyler's the one who got me into it.
I love that.
That's great.
Yeah, the bourbon's got me rambling. So
What part of the country
that's perfect.
did you grow up in?
I'm not like from some holler. I'm from like Northern Illinois.
Oh,
I'm from like a little over an hour away from Chicago, where the suburbs kind of end. It looks
that's still
suburban.
pretty country,
Yeah,
though.
Yeah.
You get too far from Chicago, and it is cornfields.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, I joke with my friends. I'm like, I live in Roscoe Village. That's the suburbs to me. Like, there's like technically spaces between the buildings, and it's just like safe and quiet. Like, it doesn't feel too like, I don't know, not what I picture when I picture like urban living, but
Yeah,
a
the
lot of
buildings only go
moms.
3 up. They don't go 4 or
yeah,
5.
exactly. But you know, I'm not like from the backwoods, but I'm from like the edge of the suburbs and the backwoods.
Okay.
And I think the culture leaned a little more towards. I mean, I grew up going to rodeos and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in the backwoods.
I was gonna say, as someone who's like from pretty bumfuck,
Yeah, that's
like,
right, Missouri.
What's
Yeah.
your relationship with country music?
I see why like older people like it because it is really predictable and really easy and really soothing a lot of the time.
Yeah. Or I guess like country music as most people think of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting, like the things we'll talk about, like the lyricism in this album, just like how different country life is than living in the big city.
Yeah.
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 It's wild. It's night and day. It's like two Americas.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I swear to God, if we don't get into this album
Hey.
right fucking now.
She's got puns for days.
Hey, come on, segue. This album is so fun. And it opens kind of introducing like this character.
This is a party album.
That's one way to put it.
One of you just said basically concept record. One of you just said, yeah, party music. Like,
Yeah.
he's talking a lot about a party. And
I
a
can
whole
see a
lot.
little bit of both in here. What's the character being? Is he?
Well, I don't necessarily mean like we're talking like Welcome to the Black Parade, like there's
Yeah,
this
a young
one
boy.
person in
Yeah.
every single song, but like I feel like throughout this album
The concept is that it's country music.
What if country music?
Sorry, go
I
ahead,
feel
sorry.
like a lot of the time Tyler's painting this picture of like this Appalachian man who like swigs moonshine and like digs in the mountains and like, you know, is really living that Appalachian life.
He's
and
putting
so
on some different hats.
Totally.
Exactly.
See, I didn't know like if it was like autobiographical or not.
I didn't know either.
I assumed it was.
I don't think
but-
he really killed a man in the mountains.
I don't know.
We sing our secrets in our lyrics.
Yeah.
That's a great line right there.
Thank you.
Write that down. But this is where I grabbed my line from because I had to go look up what a backhoe was because I'm not that country. Do you guys know what a backhoe is?
It's some
Well,
kind
I'm
of
from
farming
Wisconsin.
equipment.
We have agriculture. I know what a backhoe is.
It's a big tractor with a giant wheel on the back.
Yeah.
So,
His pupils are wide because he's
Wide,
been
'cause-
snorting uppers all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, this album like starts with just a lot of like simultaneously like very backwoods country, but also kind of like there's a lot of rejection of typical like country values,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Mhm.
which I found really interesting through all of I mean, we'll get to it, but there's like a song about reincarnation and like the Big Bang Theory. Like it's just stuff you don't really
Here in the
expect from like what sounds like a pretty traditional kind of bluegrass country album. But like in this song, he's like, this band's too loud for their Bible thumping. It's gonna be so hard not to put on an accent this
No,
entire
what-
episode.
I don't know much about folk. Do you two either? Because I kind of feel like the lyrics might be drawing from folk music as well, right?
Oh, I would imagine.
In a sense, yeah, it's a little more like confessional, like country music. Like you said, it's like more. It's like those country values. It's like she's like pretty. She prayed to Jesus, and like I don't know.
Right.
He touches on religion in a couple songs, which is there's a nuanced way to do it, and I think he does.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I mean, he's also like half of his songs are like I was drunk and on cocaine, and I'm like, well, and that's the good kind of country. Like that's like the people like. There's like I don't know. There's bad country where it's like just used to like sell like Wrangler jeans and shit like that,
Pickups
and like
and
beer.
shit.
Yeah, and then there's also shit that's just like confessional, like poor rural people singing about their real experiences. And
Yeah.
this seems to be more of that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that kind of blends the line between folk, like you were saying. But I don't know. I enjoy it.
Absolutely. Yeah, a lot of this album feels like kind of like a therapy session.
Oh yeah.
In a way that I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, there's some acoustic only versions of these songs, and I think they hit better than the full band versions.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Just because they feel way more intimate and way more like one definition of folk music is to say like music that people just made for each other without like a music industry selling it to them. Kind of like how we experience most
Never heard
music.
that.
Yeah, like folk music and early blues and stuff was all like a folk music. I'm doing parentheses with my hand for there. It's just like a music before the music industry got involved.
Yeah.
So when it's just acoustic to feels really human. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think human is a good word for this album.
And I think this was like the album that kind of made him big after a while. But like before this, I think a lot of his like live sessions and touring he was probably doing by himself. So that's probably where you found a lot of those acoustic stripped back.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have a band. I mean, I think he's always had a band. They're called the Food Stamps, I think. His live band is called the Food Stamps.
So. It's like the Food Stamp band.
Tyler Childers and the Food Stamps.
Yeah.
For the people, by the people.
Yeah, and I know one of the guys has been there since the beginning, the bassist, or at least it's what it. I don't know. I didn't look up too much lore, but he's in all the old videos and the new ones. But yeah, there is like a lot of that stuff where and just like I don't know. I know if I was doing this kind of music, I would do solo tours and solo sessions.
Yeah.
Because I was in like a folk project before, and I did that by myself.
Very cool.
I feel like that's kind of what you were saying about like bluegrass and singing from your experience is very important context for this album. I was like doing ye olde Wikipedia digging and like you said, this is his breakout album. Like this is kind of what launched him into the Tyler Childers that you would see, the Grammy nominated, the label
I didn't even
money.
know that.
Yeah, Grammy
Good for
nominated.
him.
I know, it's huge. And when you look at his background, like very like Eastern Kentucky, like his mom was a nurse
And his dad was a
was
coal miner,
worker. Yeah,
Wow. Yeah.
it just all of it feels like such real shit,
Yeah,
which I really appreciate.
you can't really phone that in, and that's I think what makes it different from other country music for me and for his fans. And he's obviously not the only one doing that, but he was the first one I found.
Yeah.
Can we talk about country guitar solos real fast?
Oh my
Yes, sir.
I love a good country guitar solo.
God, so do
This
I.
is a pro guitar solo podcast through and through and through.
I've seen a couple country bands live, and like the lap guitar is such a fun instrument. I wish it would cross genres more
Yeah.
often.
The only time I've seen it outside of country music is they're a Chicago band. Have you heard of Meth?
No, that's a great name.
I've like seen the band Meth
Yeah.
like on a set list and been like,
Epic.
that's a choice.
They are like intense experimental. I don't know, some kind of metal. There's like a lot of subgenres of metal. I don't really know what to classify them as.
Wait,
But they have a guy who's playing like a lap steel, but it's like distorted. He's just like beating it. I'm like, yo.
I bet that hits. I bet that slaps.
I've seen them live. They're really good.
Cameron, can you confirm or deny whether or not you've recently mixed this band?
Can confirm. Meth goes hard. I've seen Seb bleed on stage.
Yeah, I mean, the only other thing I have to say about this first song, I swear to God, is that it works as an intro track just because of that cute little fiddle intro.
Yes, she was
They're
playing
just
it.
like, I
should.
feel like I just like woke up on like a sunny Appalachian mountain and there's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Something about sipping whiskey.
Yeah,
and
I'm
listening to a
fiddles.
fiddle
Yeah.
There's going to be a
is
freaking refill between
really
every song at this
amazing.
point.
Yes.
I forgot that I can put it back. Yee!
I only had a couple drinks last night and a few good hits from an inlet pipe. But I must admit I had a few white lines and I don't know what all happened. I woke
We used to
up
know how to
in
square
the
dance. That's how from the country I am. I would square dance the shit to this.
Really? Was that
Awesome.
like part of your gym class? Or was that just life?
No, we did that like in the church. The church put that together.
Wow.
Did you have that in your gym class?
Well, I asked because in my gym class, one of the years, we did have like a dance part of the syllabus.
Yeah.
We didn't square dance.
Did you guys do Thriller?
No. What we did was my gym teacher would just Google YouTube videos of Just Dance, the video game,
Oh.
and like
You
put
just
it on a
played
projector
Just Dance, but without the pad?
without like the Wii remote.
Bro.
It would just be a whole class.
Oh my God, bro.
How do you know how good you're dancing? There's no
Exactly.
score.
Everyone's winning. I
like,
actually
you're doing
legitimately.
great.
Well, that's funny. I thought you were speaking from real life experience. I did
No.
have a square dancing
did?
lesson, like a unit. Yeah.
Amazing.
It was fun. I was like, ooh, I'm touching elbows with a girl.
Ooh.
Boot scoot boogie.
I was pretty good.
Well, yeah,
But
that's like
it's
the one
not
part
too
gym
hard.
class where it's like, oh yeah, in the
Yeah.
bag. In the
But
bag.
my parents have friends. They go like square dancing with these friends, and this guy like puts on a cowboy hat, and he has like a mustache bigger than time, and he like bows to the lady. It's like,
oh my god.
so yeah.
Can we get him on the podcast?
Yeah. Yeah, send him a
Sure,
request
yeah.
email.
Amazing.
Shout out to Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn.
So this track is like the track, the next one.
I was shocked. Well, okay. Zach, you kind of mentioned earlier, like, Tyler Childers does not get, like, at least in my sphere of existence, a crazy amount of radio play. And so when I went to his Spotify page, like, I was not familiar before we knew this was an album pick.
Mm-hmm.
And I see 224 million, like, listens
on this one song.
I
Mhm.
was like,
And
holy
I've never
shit.
heard of this man. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
I was like, this
So-
guy fucks.
This was like the snippet I heard that made me want to check him out was from this song.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is his bopper. This is his big one. It's just like I don't know, like man,
yeah, it's
I don't know if it's suburban or his songwriting
He
abilities,
sprinkled
but
a little bit of magic.
I got
in
like that
this one.
smile where you can feel the wetness in the corner of your eyes.
You're like twiddling your
It's
little
like-
toes listening to
It's
this
just a
one.
good
Yeah.
like country love song, I guess. You know, it's a good song.
Absolutely.
that's where country really shines, and kind of like this melancholy, sad kind of.
Yeah.
like that's where
Yeah.
country music can really hit.
Yeah, and the thing is like it's not like I mean, it's a little cheesy, but it's not like a formulaic run of the mill country
No.
love song.
It's not on the nose at all.
Uh-uh.
It's
Yeah.
very like poetic.
And he also just talks about like the country love song is like I said earlier, like, oh, she's beautiful and praise to Jesus.
Yeah.
But like this one's like, I think it's like a lyrics like, if I known she was as religious, I wouldn't have came stoned to your
Yeah.
house.
What did you read into why the belt buckle, the Indian feathered Indian, is impressed into her skin?
Well, I assume they're like dry humping or fucking.
Well, no, she's too religious, so they just spent the night cuddling.
Oh wait, that's so wholesome.
Yeah, so it's just the love song about just cuddling with a
Dude,
girl
what?
who.
You're making me like this album even more.
Yeah.
Like what?
And
I
so when
didn't
she
even
woke
see that.
when she woke up, the belt buckle, because it's like the Indian from like a cigarette company, not American Spirits, something else.
Sure.
But yeah, that's the belt buckle he had.
Wow.
And it
Oh.
pressed
cigarette
into her
belt.
skin.
That is so chaste and wholesome.
Just
It's so
spooning.
good.
Little bit
And
of
then like the song,
spooning.
it's like the song before he's like, I almost overdosed on cocaine. And then this one he's like, I'm good to just cuddle, baby.
I'm snuggling.
And like, you know, that's me. Those are my two sides.
Yes. Like, okay, baby, you can be the big spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'm with the homies. I'm getting the Pulp Fiction needle in my chest.
Yeah.
When I'm with my lover, combing her hair and asking her if she needs any TLC.
Well,
Absolutely.
here's some of the lines that are great. If I knew she were religious, and I wouldn't have come so stoned to a house of such a name, too fucked up to get back home. So he's messed up.
Yeah, he didn't even
but
know.
she's too Catholic.
Yeah. You know what I love about this fucking album, and we'll run into this like several times. He is so sweet to the ladies that he loves.
Yeah.
Consistently. There were so many lyrics where I like went to genius.com and read it, and I was like, me And who?
Yeah, right.
This
Well,
is so sweet.
another thing that when I checked him out and started to like him and start to like country music, I was like, country music, surprisingly unproblematic fave right
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Like he's singing this song and he's like, I'd go running through the thicket, careless through the thorns, just to hold her for a minute. Though
Which
it'd
is-
leave me wanting more.
So country.
It's so good.
Thicket?
The
Like, what are
thicket.
the hard things
thicket?
country people can do? Run through thorns?
Okay, Briar Rabbit, like
I haven't seen a thorn in 7 years. That's how long we've been in
Well,
the
and here's the
city.
thing: it's like if I don't know who's a popular country guy, who's the guy that like hosts The Voice or whatever the fuck. But anyway, if that guy or if a Jason Aldean or Tim McGraw type sang this lyric, you'd be like, all right, dude, you live like in LA and you're singing songs for like people who like are at a level of poverty you never faced or you haven't in several decades. But like coming from him, like I know that's real lyric.
like
Yeah,
that's kinda
yeah.
sweet.
Like I don't know what thicket is, but I've traversed rural landscapes to hang out with high school girlfriends in my childhood, and I guess that's why this song hits so hard.
Yeah,
I just remember like
real shit.
You couldn't hang out and like make out at your parents' house. We would go into the woods.
You gotta go in like a cornfield,
Yeah, that's me and who.
risking poison ivy just for
exactly.
a smooch.
Exactly.
Can I propose a pee break real quick?
Oh, sure.
Sure.
Amazing.
Blake
Shelton.
It was
who
Blake
was.
Shelton.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the guy.
host of The Voice, sexiest man alive, circa 2018 or something. I don't know.
According to
People magazine, probably.
someone.
Whoever does it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Someone with not very good eyesight.
Yeah. Get owned. This is a Blake Shelton call out post.
Yeah.
Come on to Album Reviews to settle the score.
If we got Blake Shelton on album reviews, I'd probably shit my pants.
I thought you were gonna say shit on him. Just be like, get him on the show. and do like a
it's
dick.
like a secret roast.
do like a Dick's Last Resort to him.
No, Blake. It's safe here, honey. Come on the show.
We give him like a big ass paper hat that says like "I get off to narwhals" or some shit.
Real Eric Andre vibes. Just really fuck with him.
Yeah.
One of
Oh
us
my
like
God.
throws up on the coffee table.
Someone falls out the ceiling.
Roscoe falls out the ceiling.
No animals were
Yeah, no
harmed in the
animals
making
were
of this
harmed.
make-believe
Not at all, not
podcast
at
with
all.
Blake Shelton.
It was a breakaway ceiling with a mattress underneath.
Yeah.
Stunt double. It's a person. It's just a furry.
It's just someone in a morph suit.
We need a furry / stunt man for this next episode of Album or Brews.
Yes.
Now taking applications.
Let's like
Yeah.
make a Craigslist post.
Well, I mean, we'll get someone. I don't know if they'll be qualified.
Do you think Blake Shelton? No, this is gonna be forced to sell. I was gonna say, do you think Blake Shelton has any tattoos?
Does he? I
Do you think Blake Shelton's ex-girlfriend
wait.
has any tattoos with the name Blake Shelton on it?
God, that
Like a
would be
big tramp stamp of Blake Shelton.
I kind of want to get Blake Shelton
So
it's
I
like
didn't-
his face and his name underneath.
right
so-
up on there.
I didn't want to get into my dating history on the podcast. No, I didn't even realize you were doing a segue, but yeah, the next song's called. I thought it was an earnest question. I was like, I don't know. Does he?
See, that's how good the segue is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
If
so
you
good
don't
at
know.
those.
A couple years of practice.
Yeah.
You got it down.
Couple swigs of Evan
But yeah,
Williams.
the next song is called Tattoos.
Yes. Can
And
I?
it's a great burn.
It's
Go
like a
ahead.
breakup song. I'm re-looking at these lyrics now. Yeah, and it's more like post-breakup song vibes.
Yeah.
It's she
Yeah.
got a new man vibes.
Yeah.
like
I
she's
guess.
long gone.
It's kind of a burn. He's kind of burning her.
Really?
It
I
feels
think
like,
so because
take a
they're
look.
broken up, but his name is still tattooed on her.
It feels like simultaneously
Literally
like
what
a self burn and a little bit of like a
It's like I suck, but you dated me.
right.
Yeah. But who's the real loser here?
I don't have Sheila
'Cause
on
there's-
my
This is a
arm.
catch-22.
There's some lyricism that's like the past is fading like a tattoo fades, and so it's kind of implied, I think, that there is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I didn't even realize that before.
It definitely seems like the premise of the song is like sort of wistfully thinking about this person that you were in a relationship who I guess, tattooed your name on them and the relationship has ended. And so now he's saying all this shit like, I'm the one she left. I'm her used to be, quote unquote. That's got to be a weird feeling, huh? Like knowing if I knew there was someone out there with like Sarah in a heart after we broke up, I would feel weird about that.
I think I would raise a toast to Boolin Rye with Whiskey Kills All Things and Times.
Yeah, I just saw that there too. That's a good one. Yeah, I didn't pay attention. I mean, this is one of the songs. It's not a skipper, but it's not one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
I never even noticed that it was like the name was literally tattooed. Wow.
It's not. It's like kind of implied. I
Okay.
don't know 100% if that's
Well,
true.
If
Well-
that's true, shout out to Tyler Zach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So-
hope you got another like cover up, or maybe you don't fuck it, roll with it.
Well, you know what? Okay, I'm going to pull up this clip from a live session of his
Sure.
where he sort of talks about how, like, it's not always a great move to have the name of someone you're in a relationship with tattooed on you. And if you do that, there's kind of only one way, if you break up, that you could kind of come back from that in his mind.
Oh, I'm excited to hear what he says.
yeah.
So let me go.
This is a
ahead
man
and-
of Appalachian wisdom.
He's so smart.
My mother was always a big advocate that you don't get people's names that you're in a relationship tattooed on your body. She said, I don't know what's going to happen. That's expensive to get rid of. And I always thought about that. I've seen different ways to get rid of it. You know, you got like Betty, you know, line through her name, and Beatrice, line through her name, Debbie, farms people. And then you got, you know, cover up jobs. I figured the cheapest way, if I was to ever get Sonora's name tattooed on my body and then she broke my heart into pieces, the cheapest way would just be go in and get a little tombstone.
The cheapest way, if you and this person break up and you have someone's name tattooed on you, is just to go back to the tattoo artist and get a little tombstone around the name.
You tried.
Do you know what the last stanza of the song
Yes.
is? And that's okay.
So
Oh, what? I
at the
don't-
end of the
I picked this
song,
album. Who picked this?
at the end of the song,
Oh.
he sings, "I'm now an old headstone."
And it shows that clip.
Yep. And
Ah,
so
genius.
it's sort of implied
Yeah.
that like this person has tattooed his name on them, and they've broken up, and they like took his advice
England
I hope so.
and got a little headstone around his name because I guess this person he is dead to this person.
R.I.P. to us, babe.
R.I.P. girl.
That's such a great line.
Wow.
I think that
In
is
that
so
context,
funny.
it's so
I think
good.
that's very sage advice.
Yeah.
So, this song is like a lot kind of fun. Okay, this is making you guys. I don't know if I've said it on the mic or if been one of our like many refill or pee breaks because we're just tearing through the Seven
Yep.
Williams. But you guys are making me like this album more than I already did. And
Good.
I thought this was just kind of like a Mr. Brightside, like, oh, she got a new man, wah, kind of song. And I was like, yeah, it's good, but like, I don't care. But it's actually kind of funny.
It's got
It's actually
layers.
kinda
It's a good
funny.
burn. It's a
Yeah.
sick burn.
It's a sick burn.
It's really funny.
That was my note about
man
this
is good.
song. Dude, his songwriting is so smart.
It's good.
Like-
Oh, and also you played the clip and it reminded me, for the listeners at home who don't know who Tyler Childers is yet, he's cute.
Yes. He's a cute little ginger.
Got a great
And his-
mustache.
His look, he was like kind of like thick and like long hair and facial hair, but now he's like meth head skinny and just like has like a crew cut and like he pulls off both looks.
Yeah.
He's changed.
Get
but it
you a
all
man who
works.
can do
Yeah, exactly.
both.
Exactly.
The mustache is fantastic. I'm envious of it.
Oh yeah, the mustache
Yeah.
era
You have
was
a
good.
wonderful mustache.
But it's not as good as Tyler Childers.
I was
not-
just talking to my partner the other day. I was like, I've had a mustache longer than I planned on.
Me too. You just get it one
It's
day.
been about a
and
year.
then-
Yeah.
It's been about a year now, and the thing is, like, you know, I don't like love mustaches. I just like I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I look at old pictures of me without it. I'm like, I don't look that great. The mustache like makes me look like kind of artsy or
Yeah.
like something that, like
A
what
little nuance.
what's going on with that person?
Yes. I think a mustache makes someone look like they appreciate jazz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the weirdest thing is, I don't know if it's been like blatantly obvious to you guys or not yet, but I'm trans femme, and there's like some weird feminine gender affirming thing about having a mustache.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Yes.
It's just like, I bet you wish.
Yes.
But cheers to Tyler Childers and to all the mustache ladies out there.
To the mustache
Ladies, you're the hottest of all of us.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about, quote, a redneck commentary on reincarnation.
Is
That's
that
all
what it is? When I first read the title, I was like, Christianity, like born again Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe he's doing like a double entendre with it, right?
I think
he sings
so.
about Christianity. I mean, his new album's like a gospel album. Like, it's just on God. It's just on God.
Yeah.
And it's good, you know. I mean, right? I don't know. In the DIY punk scene, I don't see a lot of bands singing about religion, whether they're condoning it or condemning it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to make a move towards that. And so revisiting his music has been helpful for that.
Yes.
This podcast is just it's making me my best self. So thank you guys.
Is it the
Yeah.
year of
Let me think
realizing things?
It
To
might
quote
be.
Kylie Jenner.
I think she was right. She's
I
usually
think she
right.
was. It's always the year of
Is
realizing
she the one that did that
things.
Pepsi ad, by the way, back in
No, that was the other one. She's the one who had
Okay.
the
Kendall Jenner?
the lipstick.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
it's-
yeah, I'm looking at these lyrics here.
Tell me about it. What makes it reincarnation?
Well, my interpretation was like he's the sort of first life that we experience in the song kind of takes up the majority of the lyricism, where it's just like, I'm a guy and I love you.
Very country. Okay.
Yeah.
We're hitting some strong
It's like
themes.
the name of a country album right there. I'm a guy and I love you.
But then, like, a little over halfway through, this guy who loves someone is like, till one day I met my doom.
Mhm.
Someone fucking eats it.
He took one in the boiler room.
And so now his soul returned to seed and come to earth again, clucking out a living as the favorite laying hen. This dude dies and he's
Whoa.
reincarnated as a chicken.
That's
Literally, like
get
literally.
Like lyrically, I think.
And come back to
But I
earth again,
wouldn't be
clucking out a
surprised
living.
That is the chorus.
That is.
Yeah.
but
But then the chicken dies.
and then what? Then he's the egg.
So the chicken did come first.
Uh-huh.
Is what
I
this
guess
says.
we finally have it confirmed.
Yeah.
You know, me and my fucking sociology and English studying in college brain is like, this is about like redneck culture. Like, it's like trashy until it's profitable. But like, I don't know. Maybe he seems like he's smart. Maybe he's singing that. But maybe it's literally about a chicken. I enjoy either interpretation.
That's just art, baby.
Yeah. It's a big buffet. There's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Can we listen to this guitar solo at 202?
Absolutely.
Let's run it.
Let me pull that schniz up.
That slide, baby. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
It's like it's everything it needs to be, and it's not too much.
I want to like pour
Yeah.
sweet tea and like sit on a porch and just go, oh, bless her
It
heart.
just takes
Girl.
its time.
You have no idea. I describe myself to people as somebody, when I'm introducing myself, I say Yankee mindset, Southern appetite. I'm all about the grits and biscuits and gravy and
Yes.
sweet tea. But you know,
100%.
I'm a trans commie, so
Who loves grits?
Who loves grits?
who loves grits and mudding and rodeo?
Yeah. Multifaceted individual.
Exactly. We all ought to be, you know, a little
No
more,
one is a monolith.
little more nuanced here.
Yeah.
It's just a joke, guys.
A White House Road, not about the White House, just about partying on a road to a house that is white, I think.
Oh, is that why?
No,
I was
don't know.
wondering if White House Road was like an actual road in eastern Kentucky where he's from.
It might
Google it
be.
real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
Google
looking at
Maps it.
Genius, but I don't know if I'm like doing it wrong.
Oh God! When I just Google White House Road, it just comes up with a song.
Yeah.
This is like the cool cowboy country, the musicality on this
Yeah.
one. It
This
like
is
it
the
feels,
outlaw.
yeah.
outlaw vibe.
It is. It looks like it's a town in Kentucky, in like
Oh.
eastern Kentucky,
Mhm.
Sure.
damn near West Virginia.
Yeah, here's a good time to bring it up. The fun album art trivia. Do you guys know about the album art for this?
No,
No, tell me
it's
about
cool
it.
looking.
It's so the colors are based off like a rock that is found if you mine in the Appalachian Mountains, and the shape is like the county he's from, and it's literally the county is on the border of Kentucky and West Virginia.
Ah,
That's where he's from. I forget what it's
Neat.
called. I looked it up the other day because I knew I was coming on here.
that's super country. I like that a lot.
I forget what it was called. Wallace Country.
Is
Yeah,
this
I'm gonna
the
check
same-
real quick.
Is this the same mineral he kills a man for later in the album?
You know more about this album than I do.
He do be killing a man later because they dig and they find something.
They do find something very valuable.
Yeah. Can we just play a little of this to kind of get a vibe for where we're at
Yeah,
musically?
yeah. We haven't listened to a whole lot of this yet. It's a good album, listener. It's a good album.
Even if you're not, even if you're one of those people, and I have been one of those people who's like country music. No, this one's really fun.
Yeah.
Please listen.
Like I said earlier, is my gateway into like good modern country that's happening. There's a movement.
Yeah, there's none of those
Absolutely.
tropes that people shit on for country, which I think are fine to shit on. I think you can shit on some of those
There
tropes,
is not
but
one
they don't
single-
exist in this album.
There isn't a single pickup truck appearance on this album.
No.
No Budweiser, no nothing.
Just a backhoe.
Just a backhoe.
The accent is not offensive. It's fine. It's charming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shine, get me higher than the grocery bill. Take my troubles to the high wall. Throw 'em in the river and get your bill. We've been sniffing that cocaine. Ain't nothing better when the wind cuts cold. Lord, it's a mighty hard living, but a damn good feeling to run these roads.
It gets you hyped.
Yeah. This is a hype. I think this might have also been a single from the album.
I can see that. Yeah.
I believe that.
He's at least played it a lot, and I think still plays it a lot. But yeah, it's hype. This was also one of the first few I heard. I don't know. I checked out a couple singles, and I was just like, "Well, this album sounds good," and I checked it out. But White House Road, and I've abused a fair share of drugs in my life, and I was kind of going through it when I also found this album, and it was just like I don't know. It was another one of those moments where it's like I don't know. Country music was. I mean, I knew, but I never really cared to explore like the side of country that could be like this raw and honest. And there's even like a weird, I don't know, actually I'm going to check the Genius thing real quick because he says a line, I think it's either in the first verse or the chorus, something about the women keeping his motor clean. And I'm like, is that like an
Yeah.
old school like sexual double entendre? Because that's like an AC/DC lyric too, right?
Is it?
From You Shook Me All Night Long. It is highlighted on Genius, and it says, "This is a suggestive metaphor in which the engine is the reproductive system." I knew it! I knew it! I swear to God, I did not look this up. Frequent ejaculation leads to a lower risk of prostate cancer. That's true.
Yeah.
As
Love
well as
that.
reduces the chance of nocturnal emissions. All right. I don't know. I mean, I've only listened to a couple episodes of Album Brews. I don't know how often semen gets brought up.
Enough.
But I would like to apologize just in
Enough
case.
that we could bring it up. It's not
Although
bring it-
sometime Cameron cuts it out.
Yeah. Cameron and his delicate sensibilities.
Cameron, I won't be upset either way. If this makes it or doesn't,
That was a joke only for Cameron, and we're going to keep it in.
Cameron's like, wait, you guys can't talk about schmaltz.
They're talking about semen ball. She kept my motor clean.
That's a really good impression of him, actually.
I can do if there's one thing I can do.
But like, it's really good.
Ball. But yeah, well, what else is there to say about White House Road? I like the whatever. I don't know what it is, maybe you guys know the thing that's going like.
It's a jaw harp.
I thought it was a jaw harp.
I've got one. Cameron got it for me.
Cameron did get you
Wow.
a jaw
Cameron,
harp.
you're coming up a lot on the song. Between semen and jaw harps. Someone's jaw is working a lot.
Venn diagram.
Yeah, the middle is just like tired jaw in the morning.
Yeah, pretty much.
It does
But,
make your jaw tired.
You know,
I mean, both.
this is just like a honky tonk party song. You know, the album needed one. We've
It
had
needed
too
it.
much good songwriting so far. We needed, I mean, you know, I'm sure there's some good, you know, metaphors and stuff happening here, but I think it's just about him, you know, being a degenerate.
Being
Well,
a
it's
country
actually
boy.
about not himself being a degenerate. Did you guys read this Rolling Stones interview quote?
Tell me more
tell us
right
about it.
now.
It was actually about, he was writing this and he was just thinking about, and this is a quote, I was just thinking about this dude I worked with, his tales of flat out lies about how much of a wildcat he was. And just, so it's just his coworker friend who just like
Tell
told all these
stories.
lies. Yeah.
That's
Like,
so
well,
funny.
I shot these
Dude, see, that's like that's one of those things that reminds me of, like, there's no wrong way or no wrong thing to write a song about. You know,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
your coworker's lies. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Make a country party song about your coworker pretending to party. Just
fun.
embellishing.
Which kind of gives it a different vibe in that paradigm, but it's still a great song.
Yeah.
This was another potential drink pairing that I texted Zach about, but I was very glad that we didn't have moonshine as
Yeah.
pairing
I
for this episode.
almost went with it, but you know
Ugh.
what? I was like, well, Kentucky bourbon's probably like easier and cheaper to find, but
Yeah.
I don't. I've never.
Have you guys
I've
ever had
had
moonshine?
I've never had
once.
moonshine.
I've had it once,
good.
and weirdly enough,
It's not good.
you're not
drink.
going to believe it. It was at a sushi restaurant.
Where?
They had like moonshine, and I was like, yeah, I'll try it. It was like I was like freshly 21, and like I was getting sushi with some friends, and they had moonshine, and someone ordered it, and I was like, I'm gonna get that too. And that's the first and last time I had it. Well, first I might have it. I'm only 26,
Of course.
Yeah.
you know, and after hearing this album again, I might have it soon, but.
Get back to the root.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, you know, Evan Williams probably, you know, they could find it anywhere. They go to CVS and find that.
I got it at Target.
There
where
you go.
I got the
Amazing.
ice cube tray for the round ice cubes.
Are those still cooking?
Still completely water.
Oh,
We are drinking boring ice cubes tonight.
Yeah, but you know, the vibes are there. The music is chilling us.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Something I guess that kind of spans across the whole album is like this really, and I know he does this with all of his releases, and I think since this album he's gone to indulge in it even more, is just really, really like leaning into using like folk and Appalachian country instrumentation.
Yeah.
I mean, he released a whole fiddle album, and the jaw harp is in here, and there's a lot of banjo. I mean, there's a good banjo song coming up soon, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Stick around.
Yeah,
But I don't know,
It's
that's-
folky. It's what's the word Wikipedia calls it?
You know, that's weird.
Neo-traditional country.
When I think of folk music, I think of like, because I listen, like, okay, I said that most of the music I listen to does not sound like the music I write, and it's true. I'm not like the other girls. I listen to mostly, I mean, I'm wearing a shirt. I listen to mostly like extreme death metal and black metal, or rap or country. and I picked a country album for today, but when I think of folk, I think of like, there's a lot of folk metals. Like folk, when you say folk metal, it's like whatever country they're from. It's like traditional, I don't know.
Hungarian.
What's a country? Yeah. Traditional. I was trying to say Swedish, like a traditional Swedish folk song. Put that with like atmosphere and like high pitched like metal screams, and that's like a Swedish folk black metal album.
Yeah.
But when you say folk music, I'm thinking like this kind of is folk, because this guy's like really leaning into like Appalachian stereotypes, at least in terms of sound. And I know like he's said in interviews and stuff, he like intentionally does that. Like he's proud of where he's from, and I think it's cool. I mean,
Yeah.
might as well embrace it. But the instrumentation on this album, for those who haven't heard it, is it's part of what makes it so textured and fun. You know, you're not like some kind of sound like just indie rock like folky songs, folky indie rock songs, and some are like you literally feel like you got like a bluegrass CD from like a one-eyed moonshiner at like a gas station 4 hours outside of Charleston, West Virginia.
Like
You're at a
there
honky
could be
tonk bar.
shuffleboard in this.
Yes.
There's not any, sadly, but there could be, and it would fit fine.
Yeah, like a washboard,
Yeah.
a gut bucket bass.
Yeah.
I built one of those. I was in a folk punk band, little
jug.
side tangent, and yeah, my friend had a barrel, a stick, and like a string and made one.
That's fantastic.
It was yeah. It was back before we had money for instruments. But yeah, no, it's part of what makes the album so textured, but at the same time it definitely feels like it's one album. And this song is where they really like the mouth harp shine, and like the bass is chugging along. It's kind of got like that hip swaying, coming in from Smoking an American Spirit, going back into the square dancing bar to like get rejected by that country girl vibe.
When I saw the title of the next song number 6.
What do those words mean?
Well, when I saw
take
the
a look
word
at this.
banded Clovis, I don't know why, but for some reason I was conflating Clovis with like Cletus. I thought it was just like some.
I don't know what that is or where to find it.
I just
Where
thought
do
it
you
was
find
like
the Cletus?
No.
Sounds fake.
I thought it was just some like country dude's name.
Oh.
Like
Yeah, it
Coot.
kind of does. It does. It is a Cletus type.
Yeah, I can see that.
So for the people,
The prospector
listening-
Cletus. What is about prospecting?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
For the people listening along at home, this is kind of like a fun little story about two folks going into the mountains.
Finding
and
shit.
They're finding shit. They're sifting and they're digging.
I like this
And-
character.
Thank you.
This one does seem like there's a character. Like
Oh, absolutely. This one I would say is like the one that feels most like a campfire story.
yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
you like go camping with someone who has a guitar and they're like, sit down, let me tell you the story about the bandit Clovis. And
I
you're
think
like,
that's
"Oh,
literally what this song is. Yeah.
totally. So Clovis, for those of us like myself who are not familiar, refers to like an ancient civilization and a sort of subset of the population who lived in Appalachia, who you might like dig up like an arrowhead or a spearhead of theirs while sifting through the dirt.
Yeah, and that's what the song's
Yeah,
about.
looking for gold.
It definitely feels like a campfire story because the first lyric is like someone's name.
Yeah.
He's bringing out like this banded. What is banded Clovis?
Clovis is the term for indigenous artifacts, right? Or no?
Well, it's sort
Is
of
it?
like
Yeah, that
a
sounds right.
classification of.
Oh, okay.
Like
Okay.
you could say like this is an ancient Greek whatever,
And what does
or you could
banded
say
mean?
this is from like the clove. Oh, banded just refers to like you know when you see like sandstone and it has like lines in it,
Uh-huh.
like that's banded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's
Well,
just,
that
like,
makes
stripes.
sense, and
Huh.
it is indigenous people in this song because they are in the
So-
foothills of Appalachia as usual. But yeah, they say a nameless protagonist. They introduce this nameless person looking through this banded Clovis in Appalachian Mountains. Tina is his wife, and that's all that's mentioned. But it's it's like that kind of campfire storytelling vibe.
Yeah.
I will say this is the second of 2 songs that I don't have saved on Spotify from this album. But
It's a good story, but it does leave something to be desired, right?
yeah, well, I mean, the thing it's a good song, but like he's been like rocking and like his voice kills on like a lot of these songs, and this one's just like all right, I don't know how often people throw shade at some songs on this podcast. but
Sarah one time called the song by Jeff Tweedy, the award-winning songwriter that I love with all my heart, a dingleberry. She called one of his songs a dingleberry.
oh well, that's much worse than what I'm saying. I'm saying this one is it's like a little bit better than mid.
You're allowed to do that. That's fine.
It's
It's very
fine.
valid.
It's
Yeah.
fine, but for Tyler, he set a high bar, and for me, he didn't quite hit it on this one. But it's still a nice campfire story of
Yeah.
rummaging through the mountains for evidence of indigenous people that live there. And in the Genius annotation, it does say that it was junkies, which is funny because this also plays into like that kind of like impoverished rural person thing.
Just
that-
assume they're junkies.
It's like sad, but also kind of funny. It's like these junkies are probably looking for something to pawn, but they stumble across like priceless Native American artifacts. And
Yeah, well, that ends up kind of tying into... I agree with you. I think this song is, like, the most interesting part of this song is the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
And they, like... It's, like, these two dudes, and they're going through the mountains, and they stumble upon something that is worth, like, thousands upon thousands of dollars. And one of them shoots the other in cold blood...
Yeah.
to take this thing and sell it for pills.
This is literally like a Western movie, but it's in the East.
Yeah.
Eastern United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, musically, the only thing that this song really does for me is it's kind of cool that it's in 3/4, and it's kind of got like that old country, like da-da-ba-da-ba-da-da. He's like bouncing while I just picture him like swaying at a campfire. I mean, if I were to play the song, that's how I would do it.
Shine a flashlight
Yeah.
underneath your chin.
Exactly.
Gather round.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys heard about the band of clothes.
Y'all heard.
Somebody died over this shit.
Zach, do you have anything about this song, or should we skedaddle to
Let's-
the title track?
We absolutely should skedaddle.
I'm very excited to talk
to
about
this title
Purgatory.
track.
Purgatory.
Here we are, the title track.
This is
Title
some
track.
good bluegrass,
Yeah,
some good
this-
folk vibes.
And we know now from this point on that Ryan has included this as part of their saved library on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's true.
Not
The
only
process
that-
of elimination.
Not only that, this is one of my favorite songs on the album. The
Hell
title
yeah.
track, it's a banger. It's such a banger.
Yes.
He fully leans into that Eastern Kentucky Appalachian sound. And I don't know. I mean, after I said earlier in the podcast, like this was kind of the album that got me into country as an adult and into searching my own, I don't know, like good artists that I actually like, unironically.
Yeah.
Because there are some ironic country.
That's allowed.
I
Yeah.
love Luke Bryan.
Exactly.
I've said this on the podcast before. A little bit country fried is a great song.
Yeah, that's fair.
Dragon
That's
Wheel
fair.
is a good song.
Like that's a good song. I'll
But
say
this
that.
one is like full, like it's banjo
Oh, yeah.
solo, mandolin solo, guitar solo,
Yep.
and
Let's play some. I'm swing dancing in my chair.
You pray for me when the roots of the oak and rib cage are braiding. If I can play, Lord knows that I will fondly pray for you. High on the hill where the foxhorns blowing down in the grave that lay me low. Catholic girl, pray for me, you're my only hope for heaven.
What a great reoccurring little chorus, little
that Catholic girl pray for me.
Yeah.
I'm only hope for heaven.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this song probably more than anything on the album I have a lot to say about. The Catholic girl thing is I saw from some. It wasn't even an interview. It was him like doing. I like. This is more of a folk thing overall. I kind of like that kind of acoustic vibe where the singer-songwriter vibe, I guess, where they. I don't know. Sometimes I get flack from my bandmates for talking too much on stage. And I sometimes it works, but sometimes I get what they're saying because it's like a punk show or a metal show or like R&B. I don't know. We
We've been
play with a
loving
lot of styles.
your stage presence, if that's any
Thank you.
consolation.
I usually get that, and I'm like, it's very affirming.
Yeah.
Like, well, you guys were actually wrong. I did a field study on this, and you guys are actually
I did
statistically
some
wrong.
market research.
Yeah,
Market research.
That's a phrase I was looking for.
Two podcasters told you it was good.
Two people who love to hear themselves talk.
Right. Yeah. Don't look into it too much. But it's like more of an acceptable thing in that singer-songwriter. You got to tell them what it's about.
Sure,
And
it's
so
part of
Tyler
the-
was introducing this song in some like country as fuck. It was like a whiskey refinery like session. I don't like a lot of like there's this other country artist I got into because of Tyler because they toured together called Coulter Wall. Oh my god. You guys got to check him out after this. In fact, just play a snippet of him here if you want. He's just so good. He's got like his voice. He's like 20, or he started like his songs came out when he's like 21, and he sings like a 70-year-old man that's been in jail and smoking cigarettes like every hour his whole
Old
life.
soul.
Yeah, it's just deep and painful and good. A lot of the artists that I like in the country vein, like these unironic, like people that are kind of And it's not just me. There's like a lot of people that are into this new wave, and a lot of them are from Appalachia, although this guy's from Canada. But whatever. They're like doing real country or like saving country. Yeah, the neo-traditional. They're like kind of doing it. It's kind of like the like good reactionary movement to like the stadium Nashville rock or pop, actually. And like a lot of their live sessions are always like filmed in breweries or like whiskey distilleries. And anyway, Tyler's playing one and he's introing the song and he's like talking about just telling the story. He's like, he was like 18, had a crush on like this 25-year-old Catholic girl that lived in Ohio. And
classic.
Yeah. And like the thing is like that's like a 7-year age gap. And you know, at like a more advanced age, that's not a big deal. But like at that age, I think a lot of the song he said was like about that retrospective being young and being into you know, for the time a considerably, or for the age a considerably older lady, and just thinking like how he said like when they first broke up, he's like, how dare she do this to me? Like how could this happen? Like I thought like she was the one that was gonna last forever. But upon like a sober
Tyler.
light of day reflection, when he was about 25, like being like, how did she, like, why did she even? And I think that's the song. I think he said the song isn't for her, it's for me when he was introducing it. But it was like he said, because he grew up Baptist, as a lot of people do in rural Eastern Kentucky, and a lot of rural areas. It was like his first time being around a lot of Catholic people, and he learned about the concept of purgatory, which I don't think is really, you know, taught, like touched upon in Baptist denominations.
A lot of Protestant stuff doesn't teach it. It's mostly just Catholic.
And so that's why he's like, you know, purgatory sounds good. Like it's not hell, but like, because I'm not going to heaven. As you might have heard like, from all these other lyrics. Yeah. Pray for me. You're my only hope for heaven. If not, I'll chill out in purgatory because we've been doing that cocaine. We've been getting our motor cleaned.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take one. I don't want to say one more because someone might have to pee after. But I certainly have to pee right now.
The only other thing I have to say about Purgatory, there's a riff where there's like a little, like 2-second guitar solo. It's like a bluegrass run in the key of G, and I sound check it with it every single gig. I sound check with it because it wasn't this guy alone. There's actually another country artist I like, more bluegrass artist. I also might be from Eastern Kentucky, called Billy Strings. He's also kind of getting some notoriety now just because he's really good at like acoustic bluegrass guitar. And those Tyler and Billy Strings got me into bluegrass guitar. And so when I don't know what to do for sound check, I'm like, let me do a bluegrass run.
That's so good.
Like you came
for the
to
vibe
see
of your
like,
show.
Yeah, you came to see like an indie/R&B/death metal band. Why don't I throw you through one more loop in sound check with a bunch of like country and bluegrass?
It's free little boys
Right here.
around in purgatory.
That's a great riff.
Yeah, it's so good. Like that's like introduction to bluegrass soloing, and I learned how to do it because I wanted to do more of it, and I haven't really built up past that, but I learned how to play that riff, and it feels really good to sound check with it.
I bet it
I'm
does.
impressed by that. That seems very tricky to play. You need some nimble
Yeah,
fingers.
it's not easy. It was another thing that made me appreciate the genre. Is like, damn, these people are out here wilding on the acoustic guitar.
Limber for real.
What does the sound guy look like when you do that?
I don't mean they're just like it's just like another Tuesday to them. Like, like, is it loud enough, asshole? Yeah. That's all I got to say about that song. That is definitely one to check out from the album. Maybe not the first one, but I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's in the top 5 for sure.
Yep.
Honky Tonk Flame is not in my top 5.
You don't like this one?
It's a little slow.
It is, but I do enjoy this one thoroughly.
It gets pretty hard at like 3:30, but
there.
what do you guys feel about the first half of the song?
The last 3 tracks of this album feel like you're falling in love.
Gross.
With a beautiful girl.
Well, that last song is a tearjerker at the end. But this one's more. I mean, I obviously relate to this one as like a musician, like trying. There's like a lot of people. Okay, I don't know. This is gonna go on like some separate ass tangent here, and this is gonna like reveal some potentially embarrassing part of my psychology.
I think you have to now.
Well, I'm going to.
We've got Evan Williams, Modelo, and whatever the fuck beer Zach pulled in front of us.
But so I don't know. Like I mean, I've been doing music for 13 years, and I met a lot of people who are like, oh, like I don't know, like, oh yeah, you like my album? Oh, thanks. Yeah, no, like it kind of sucks. And like, I mean, I get Like you put out an album and there's things you wish you could have done differently, or to the point where it's like self-deprecating that almost feels like fishing for compliments. And I've been there before. Like I've been doing this for 13 years. I started my first band when I was 13. So like I've been through some cringy ass shit. But at this point now where like him chasing that honky tonk flame, I'm not chasing a honky tonk flame. I'm not in the country scene. But like I like the song just because it's kind of about like an area where I'm at right now where I very much so would like to do music for a living. I don't. I work in insurance. but people every now and then are singing our lyrics. I'm like starting to see some traction. I'm like, this is nice. And even if it never goes anywhere, it's still nice to have met a lot of nice people like you guys and all the people I met in the bands. And it's been a fun experience, but I'm getting to this point where it's meaning a little less to me than it used to. And like his whole thing, the first half of the song is like chasing that honky tonk flame, like playing dive bars and just getting drunk and playing my songs like hours and hours and states away from the people I love and know. And I've been there and about to be there. Catch Background Character on tour this fall.
Absolutely.
But the last verse is just about like I fell in love, and it turns out like love and like building towards like a holistic self and feeling cared about and finding purpose that's not just like self-serving or like community serving is just like there's a line like the love of a woman that loves me is all I need, and it's corny and on the nose. I fell in love recently. Shout out to Emily Capers. I love you. And it's and outside of even just my relationship, like I'm a person, and there's other things I'm working on, and it's good to step away from the honky tonk flame every now and then. Yeah. And I think at the end of the song, he kind of realizes that, and so that's why the song hits for me. And that's also kind of like musically like it is slow. But the last song was a fast, like bluegrass.
This is in my top 5 now. Yeah. You've convinced me.
I'm not even out to, but I'm glad I did. But like, it's a nice follow up. The last song was like the fast, like banjo solo, fiddle solo, guitar solo, like fast bluegrass jaunt, and it's awesome. But then this one's like a nice chaser, and speaking of chaser, I'm gonna switch to beer.
Can we talk about 3:30 for a fun second?
I would love to. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
How hard it goes at the end of the song. The slowness kind of builds up to this cool moment, and I kind of wish there was a little more of it in the album. But it's great. It's a good little splash.
Yeah, they're going off.
It's nice. It's good.
Yeah,
they're cooking.
There's some sounds there that are really nice and kind of like a little harder to listen to than most country music, right? Most country music is very like perfect sounds.
Yeah,
right?
And this is like you hear the bow scraping.
Yeah, there's some nuance there that's a little like ooh.
Weirdly, it might just be because I'm buzzed, but that little segment reminded me of. When I was 20 and I got stoned and I listened to Miles Davis, the first time I quote unquote got what jazz was about.
As one does when they're 20 and stoned.
Yeah, it's cool, but after a while it gets boring. But then like I was 20 and stoned, and I was listening to Kind of Blue, iconic,
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
Did
like
you get
cliche,
Kind of Blue?
but yeah. I got kind of like friggin' jazzed because I was like, oh, I get it now. Like these people are just like expressing like raw emotion just through the instrument, and like I hear it coming through on that fiddle and on the drums and stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of feeling.
So this is flirting with jazz mindset, but with country.
It's a universal sound.
Okay. The next song, sonically, in my opinion,
reverb on a country song.
The biggest departure. The whole fucking album.
I think this was like the single. This was
Is that true?
It was a single at least.
Because the beginning of it sounds like something from like the fucking postal service.
Yeah.
Like,
it's different.
I was like, are they allowed to put this much reverb on a country album?
Yeah.
Other than the pedal steel guitar?
Yeah.
I want to play. Okay, so we like just heard this fiddly ass, guitar ass, like
outro.
Outro from this previous song. I want to play just the beginning of the next one because it is so different.
It's good.
Yeah, let the listener know.
In a way that I really enjoyed.
Up in Pocahontas in the cranberry glades. Ain't got bars nor the charge to call her anyways. My mind's a mile a minute.
Is that delay? Is delay the correct word?
It's good. Yeah, it's a delay.
Okay.
Yeah, you got it. I had to think. Here's the thing, like for someone who has been doing music for 13 years, I have an embarrassingly limited knowledge of effects and
I don't want
music
all the guitar
theory in
nerds to be
general.
like, "Hey, that's delay, not reverb."
But
that's valid.
there was a little delay on my response. but I'm pretty sure that was a delay pedal. Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because I have one. That's the only reason I know.
Very good sound for this song. It's
Yeah.
It works. And you know what? I didn't until I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm vibing with people who care about this album. None of my friends like country. You're the first people I've gotten to talk to excitedly about this album. Except maybe my brother kind of likes it a little.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm starting to see why this was a single. You know, it's like daring, but it's not like crazy. And it's good. It's a good sound. It's the universal sound.
The universal sound.
But
And it just
yeah, I'd like to hear more of your thoughts on it because all I know is it's a single and that it's just kind of about like being in touch with nature because that exists everywhere. That's the universal sound. It's like an escape from anxiety, but that's all I really.
It's kind of spiritual for a country tune.
Yeah. I feel like it's just something about it sonically feels so like the soundtrack to something. Like
Sure.
To driving through the woods.
Yeah.
Someone's got
to
a boom
driving
box
through
over
the
their head.
woods, to showing up at your partner's house to tell them a big revelation.
The
to
last
showing
stitch
up
effort.
at the big game to score the winning goal. It just feels very cinematic, this song.
And I like that you show it as like the last effort to win your lover, the last play of the game to win the game, because it's literally the second to last song.
Yeah.
So that works too.
Yeah.
And I mentioned earlier that sort of the last 3 songs of this album kind of feel like this love song. So we haven't touched on this yet, but our dear sweet angel Tyler Childers is married and expecting a child right now.
Oh,
Congrats, Tyler.
Congratulations, buddy.
Congratulations. And the last 3 songs, I just sort of picked up on this really gorgeous, like, loving vibe. And there were some really beautiful lyrics in this song where it sort of seems like you're away from home, you don't have service, maybe you're on tour, you're missing the people who mean the most to you, including, like, the person you share a bed with at night. And the lyric that stabs me in the
Let's hear it.
heart.
I'm looking through them.
I pray the stars will shoot her all the wishes she can hold.
So nice.
Oh, come
Bitch!
Because they're
What?
shooting stars.
That's good.
It's just, I think I've said this before in this recording, but some of his lyrics are just so kind.
Mm-hmm.
And
They're wholesome. They're like
Yeah.
a nice southern meal.
Yes. His lyrics are biscuits and gravy.
Absolutely.
I feel it on my arteries, and I'm happy that it's there.
They're warm. They're
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you get that vibe. I do too. When's the last time y'all like went out in nature and like really kind of got lost in it?
Oh, it's been a second. It's been too long. I would say the last experience I had was probably like close to Zach's place, the LaBaw Woods.
Oh, yeah.
In
I go there a
Chicago.
lot. That's cool.
Yeah. That's like
It's a great city park.
I in August went. I was having that feeling I mentioned earlier of that city burnout. I was catering too much to the country girl, and the city girl, and I was ignoring the country boy in me.
Yeah.
And my only idea for vacation, I mean, I get like, I don't know, just a couple weeks PTO, and I use most of it for touring. But I had like one little thing vacation I want to take my partner on because I kind of wanted to stunt.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go on vacation.
Love that.
But my only thought for it at first was like, let's get lost in nature. And so we went to a provincial park like 3 hours north of Toronto, and no cell service and like shit Wi-Fi. And it was yeah, my life is fucking so fucking stressful. Have you guys seen the movie Whiplash?
Yes.
Well, do you know that scene where he's late? He like forgets his sticks for the concert, and he goes back and is like racing back with his sticks, and he gets hit by the car.
Yeah.
Whenever anyone asks how I'm doing,
You feel like you're about to.
I just say my life feels like that scene where you're racing to a concert you're late for with something you forgot but you grabbed, and then you get hit by a car. You crawl out of the wreckage, likely with limbs broken.
So the guy
and
from
you
Spider-Man
go do
doesn't
it
yell
anyway.
at you.
Yeah, you go to it. Like between like the three bands and the working full time and like friendships, relationships, like it just weighs on. And like I'm answering endless fucking emails, professional, personal,
Podcast guest
yeah,
hosting.
podcast, freaking album reviews. Don't leave me alone.
We've been blowing you up.
And so I needed, I really needed it. And looking back, it kind of feels like this song. So if you need a break from your life or your anxieties, no matter where you live or what you do, check out Universal Sound. I mean, it was a single for this album, so maybe it'll get you into it, especially if you're not in the country, because it doesn't really sound that country.
Too country.
Kind of more of that folk indie
But
vibe again.
take a break. Take some time. Listen to this track, Universal Sound. We work more hours than serfs did in like medieval Europe.
I saw that. Dude, I'm a history nerd too. I'm a history nerd, and I like looked up. There was like medieval serfs like worked, like it was not fun. They worked like a shit ton, but only until they like made the rations they needed to for the year, and then the rest of the year
they just had festivals and partied and hung
took
out.
off, dude. It's like you're not constantly meeting the deadline. You're not like constantly producing value and having your labor exploited.
Yeah.
You just do what you need to do to survive.
So
and
take care of yourselves out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to music and go into nature.
Go touch some grass.
Yeah, go touch some grass.
Actually, it's a meme, but like it's good for you for real. Actually,
Yeah.
Left-wing people advocating for a return to serfdom.
That is comedy.
I went to the Renaissance Fair and I was like, yo, wait.
Okay.
Lady, may I ask that we go to the next song?
Let's take it home with some love.
Yeah, this is the love song.
Oh my goodness.
And it's live, which is even sweeter.
This was just like a live take for the album?
Uh-huh.
Did you
That's
see
cool. Yeah, I could see that.
Our sweet angel Tyler Childers did an NPR Tiny Desk.
No.
I did see that.
And the conclusion of Tyler Childers' Tiny Desk was Lady May.
Aww.
And it's about his wife, Sonora May.
Oh my God. And he's performing this song, and you just feel it. You feel it watching this performance, that he is envisioning this person. He is singing to her. Like, it is so lovely.
That's so sweet.
It is so lovely.
What
we'll
a
get
stand-up
into
guy.
it.
I mean, there's a lot of metaphors in this song that just like break my heart.
Yeah.
But also put a bandage on it and kiss it.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't the strongest hickory that your hands have ever felt, but I'm hickory just as well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, love is accepting the flaws of a person too. And damn, what a beautiful country ass way to say it.
It's so sweet. And that metaphor goes through the whole stanza.
It goes,
Got my roots away.
There's like another one too. What is like, I ain't the, like each stanza has
I
that
ain't the
kinda,
sharpest chisel.
Yeah,
that your
the
hands
sharpest
have ever
chisel.
held, but darling, I could love you well. Aww.
And like musically too, like the thing is like lyrics is one thing, but like I don't know, it might have to do with the fact that it's just a guy and a guitar and it's a live take.
Mm-hmm.
But the chords he picks, the way he delivers it,
So intimate and so earnest, and
it's like I feel like I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to, but like in a good way. Like he knows we're seeing something we're not supposed to, and that's what makes it so emotional.
Yeah, and also like
He's like, you voyeurs.
on a couple other parts of this album, we've been shown like the tattoo gravestone and like other relationships, situationships that haven't been long term, and to conclude with this really beautiful
for his wife,
loving tribute. We're recording this on October 7th, 2022. They are still together. Sonora May, Lady May is
No gravestone tattoo.
expecting their first child together. Like, it's just this really beautiful, I don't like satisfying conclusion to this
Yeah.
album.
Well, you know what
Totally
makes it even more like painfully sweet is that the next album, the album after this, is called Country Squire, and that album is like all about him fixing up a country squire, which is kind of like another word for like mobile home
Uh-huh.
for him and his wife to move into, and
God
they did.
damn it.
They did, and they do.
That is so sweet.
Spoiler alert! It works out perfectly.
Spoiler alert.
I love
They're
that.
a good match.
And yeah, and it's just like, I don't know, like this is that kind of like, I hope people's lives are as blessed as mine, where they can relate to this feeling of that first moment where you kind of realize you like love somebody, and it's kind of like this scary kind of vulnerability.
Yeah.
And this like extremely like blessed optimism, like that, those feelings are just like captured in this song. I don't know, you might want to play a little clip of it. It's
Yes.
just
Play some of it. Yeah.
so sweet, and I feel like it handles both of those. It's just like, it's scary, and it's like, this is all I got. I'm not the sharpest chisel, I'm not the strongest oak or whatever the fuck, but like but I think I love you, and I think you love me, and
he's
that's
so happy and
that's
sweet
like
about it.
the peak of life.
Yeah.
And it's just painfully beautiful.
Put your toes down in the water and a smile across your face, and tell me that you love me, lovely Lady May. Now I ain't the sharpest chisel that your hands have ever held, but darling, I could love you well till the roll is called on high. I've seen my share of trouble, and I've held my weight in shame, but I'm baptized in your name, lovely Lady May.
Oh my god.
It like sounds like he's almost like puking,
He's
or like almost
breathless.
crying. Yeah, he's like
Ah.
at the end of May, of Lady May. It's like, dang.
I want someone to love me like Tyler Child.
Literally in my notes.
Yet
for
again,
this
me and who?
episode, yes! I was like, me and who? This is the sweetest thing in the whole entire world.
Yeah.
I would also like to play a little bit. So, fun fact, Sonora May, Tyler's partner, they're married, they're expecting a child. She is also a singer and songwriter who writes really lovely music. I'd like to play a little bit.
Yeah.
Give
Sure,
her
I haven't
her
checked it out yet, yeah.
flowers. It's delicious.
No, I'm sure he would love that shout out too.
Yeah.
The lovely couple is for you.
Yeah.
I never tried to be a ball and chain. I'd rather go fishing in the pouring rain, pulling big bass in the boat in Lake Toho, saying kissing me, baby, in the bait shop threshold. And I mean, I ain't never trying to hold you down. I hope to hold you when you come to town. And I try to love you, so letting go ain't on your mind when you're on the road. Only my kisses and all my hugs, hips and braids. And
You know, I don't know if they've toured together, but if they would, your girl would be buying a front row ticket.
Can I tell you how they broke the news that they were having a child together?
Sure. I don't know any of this stuff. This is cool.
I did my deep diving.
Yes.
So at a Sonora May show, this was in April of 2022, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And she's on stage, she's playing a set, and at one point she goes like, let my baby daddy finish the set.
Aww.
And she brings our boy
And
Tyler.
that's how they did it.
See,
and
you know,
he finishes with, he played a couple like solo songs, but I think he concluded with Lady May.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
So sweet.
See, this is like one of those things where it's like, this is like why it feels like real country to me, because it's like, these are just like two random like former tweakers from
Yes.
like East Kentucky that just like genuinely have, like, they're just real people that have had ups and downs, and they found love and they found success, and like I don't know. It doesn't really seem like they're getting to their head. Like they're just wholesome. They're having a family. His new album's like an experimental triple EP, and it's just like
I want to listen to that so bad.
and it's like I don't know. The reason, a part of another reason I wanted to pick a different sounding album, like I wanted a different sound from us, but like part of the reason I landed on this one is just because like part of the reason background character is so neurotic and takes from so different things is because like. I hope that everybody can find inspiration for anyone, especially from people who they don't really think they would.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really think like leftist, big urbanized like punk bands would be taking influence from like super, super gooey sweethearts from Eastern Kentucky.
Yeah.
But like, I love the country, grew up in it. And like, I don't know. I might be a little too open-minded. But it hasn't steered me wrong so far, and it's just the thing. It's like I don't know, like a lot of people like shit on. I think a lot of people just close themselves off to things that they shouldn't. I don't know, just in general, even outside of music, it's worth checking everything out because even if it sucks or is problematic, you'd be like, well, now I know.
Yeah, you're widening your lexicon regardless.
I don't know. But there's just like people that are like they'll like cut people out of their lives because they're different in some way, and like obviously there's like problematic, terrible things that are unforgivable. But like it's still, at least for me in my life, and granted, I was raised a white male in the country, so I have a good amount of privilege. You like every perspective you can at least use to better understand your own. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting too heady for album reviews, but I don't think so. And I just think like, I don't know, listen to a country album, listen to like a 90s like gangster rap album. I don't know. Fuck it. There's more than just like punk rock and indie out there for those people. And I'm sure they know.
Yeah, that's one thing that opening up guests to this podcast has kind of opened up a paradigm for me is like, if this type of music brings value to one person, then this music has value.
Yes.
Because I used to shit on country. I used to shit on these types of genres, but I'm like, no, like if it's valuable to someone, to some group of people, then there might be value in it.
Yeah. Me too. You just gotta recognize that. Like, don't you guys have like those painfully like real human moments where you realize like, even there's people who are nothing like me, I don't understand, like, there's still something we share.
Absolutely.
Like a kind of cosmic human level.
That's going home for Thanksgiving. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I guess it's 3 country bumpkins, so it's not really that hard for us to relate to this. But I don't know. I mean, we almost picked an Earl Sweatshirt album for this, and that album hits me just as hard. So,
well, I think that there's value there. I think that regardless of the Spotify genre that you would pick to describe an album, like across genres, you're going to find a core, like vulnerable human experience. Yeah. And I think that's why part of the reason why I'm very grateful for this podcast and, you know, opening myself up to other people introducing things to me. But like, regardless of the type of music that it is, quote unquote, there's always going to be something that you relate to. There's always going to be a human experience, and there's always value there. I think that there really is power in hearing out something that you may have written off if it's not completely egregious to your own personal beliefs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn, this is a really fun episode. I mean, did you guys put Molly in this, Evan Williams? Like, I feel so emotionally connected. Like, wow.
That's just Tyler Childs,
Should we
baby.
cuddle? Should we cuddle?
That's just Tyler Childs doing that to us.
Yeah.
Not even.
We're drinking the drink of his land too. So
we're actually gonna go knit a sweater after this with 6 armholes and go lay down in Zach's bed and
with Roscoe the dog. Shout out to Roscoe.
Oh, he will eat littlest spoon and be so happy about it.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah,
okay,
this is quite an emotional journey. I mean, I hope the listeners having fun too. Shout out to you.
Oh, we love you.
Give that smooch.
Okay, so we've reached the end of this episode. It is time to award this album a Brewski. Let's take a second off air and
formulate some thoughts.
Thoughts.
Give Roscoe some love, and you can probably hear him whining.
Yes.
I just heard him like kick a door. I think.
Yeah, he's upset.
He's big and strong.
He heard the spooning bit and he's getting out.
He's like, without me?
Yeah, am I in there or what?
Quick pause.
And the moment all of you have been waiting for, the Rabruski for tonight's episode goes to, drumroll please, Cameron, and y'all, Tyler Childers for the album Purgatory. And the Rabruski is the son of a coal miner that I would most want to kiss on the lips. Congrats.
Folks, thank you so much for listening. We are Album Brews, and we will continue to be Album Brews. If you want to check us out on Twitter or Instagram, it is at Album Brews. Or if you want to take a look at our website, it is www.albumbrews.com.
A giant thank you to Cameron Bopp for editing our show and
Thanks, Cam.
writing our theme song. Check out Cam at Cam Bopp on Twitter and hire him to write your next song for your podcast and or songwriting needs.
That is very accurate.
A giant thank you to you, the listener, for hanging out with us this long. 53 episodes in. We love it. We love you.
Jesus Christ.
Wow. You guys are getting over the hill here.
Share the show with your friends. If you've got a big nerdy friend, tell them about the show if they don't know about it yet.
Also, we are popular enough on Spotify that we have started showing a star rating for our podcast, and I think one person gave us 4 stars.
Because we got a 4.7.
We're sitting at a 4.7. Jesus Christ, if you've made it this far, just quick give us a rating.
That was me.
Tell you to
Sorry.
give us 5 stars.
A giant thank you to Ryan Kiolbassa of Background Character. Check out their band on Spotify, on Bandcamp, on the internet, on Instagram at Background Character Band. They are going to be getting back from a tour by the time this comes out. So,
Yeah, Ryan, how do you think this tour went now that you're on the other side of it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, our second album is called I Can See the Future.
Yeah.
So I'll be able to tell you guys right now, as of October 7th, 2022, how the tour is going to go. You know, many things I could say. Many things I could say. But really one word sums it up. I'm fucking sick.
hell yeah.
Thanks for coming to the shows, everybody. We have one more show on November 14th at Sleeping Village in Chicago. We will be taking a indefinite break from shows to work on our third album, which is called Gorgeous. And speaking of tattoos, I have the album cover tattooed on my stomach. I tattooed my album on my stomach. Check us out on social media at Background Character Band. And, you know, I love you. Yeah, thanks for coming along the ride. Thanks to Album Brews for having me on. Y'all are lovely people.
Thank you.
Keep checking out the podcast. Keep checking out me. Yeah, have a good time. Drink some bourbon. Tell the people that you love them, because, you know, time it moves quickly, and, you know, as a matter of physics, it moves faster each day.
Yes.
Shout out to Roscoe the dog. He's coming up over here.
Shout out to Roscoe the dog.
Hi, buddy.
Okay, so to end the podcast, Roscoe, if you want to participate, you're welcome. In the order that we introduced ourselves, we're going to get very close to the mic and ASMR style say goodbye to the people listening.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
God dang it. Thank you very much for listening to Album Brews. And if you ain't right, I don't want you to listen to this podcast, but if you are right, well, God dang it. Check out Album Brews and check out, what's this band? Background Character. Sounds like a bunch of it's. Thank you all and good night. My name is Jennifer Tillity, and safe travels.